Okay, guys, I just thought I'd give you just a small update. We're working on the roof now on the interurban, and I don't know if you remember or not, but this area right here was kind of stoved in, so I worked it all out, and then I applied glazing compound to it. Now, this glazing compound that I'm using, I'd never heard of it before, and I just thought it was the regular stuff, and maybe it is, but this stuff dries like a plastic, and it don't dry real quick either. It takes a couple hours to really get set up nice and firm. I've got a a unit that we used to use, a dehydrator, electric dehydrator that I put this stuff in, and I turn the heat up to 175 degrees. It's got a fan blowing, and it cures it a lot quicker. But that's just about done. I had a small ding right here on the edge of the roof that I filled in. But one of the things I discovered strictly by accident was I had this stuff piled up right in here, and I'm trying to sand this down. Well, it don't sand down real quick with sandpaper or a sanding sponge. So what I did was, just for the hell of it, I took my bastard file. It's a coarse cut, and I started removing it across here. Well, this works really good because I didn't dig out the low spots. I cut it down to the high spots, and then I dressed it up with a finer file. And if I wanted to get around the little portholes here, I use some of my jeweler files to get right up around the corner, and it really puts a nice finish on. Then, of course, I finished it up with sandpaper, and I shot my primer, and I'll keep adding a little primer to make sure I get all the little scratches out of it. It's looking in real good shape. I then proceeded to drill a hole in the center because this roof is hinged, and it just doesn't hold that well. So I decided initially I was going to drill 2 holes because I've got supports on both sides of the car the way the car was built, and I thought, well, why do that when Lionel did it with 1? So I drilled 1 center hole. I added the cross member. I took a brass nut. I used the torch. I soldered the brass nut to this cross member, and it worked pretty doggone good. Now, I'm not going to use this. This is not the screw I'm going to use for the finished work because I don't like it. I wanted a brass one with a flat top, and they didn't have any. And I got her nice and centered. And what I found the easiest way to get this and get everything right was, now you can see the bottom. I put that, excuse me, I soldered the brass nut to the top of the cross member. Then I put it through the roof, and I pulled that up tight against the underneath side of the car. Then I proceeded to solder it. Well, that made everything nice and square. So there's no fighting when you want to take and you sit this on. You drop the nut right through the hole. It's centered up. It will catch virtually immediately. So just a simple process to keep the roof on if you guys want to do it that way. I've also got, I found out now that with the 2-piece body, it's easier to get those doors up in these slides. There's a slide on the top, there's a slide on the frame, and all that. You put the door in there, you put the body down on the frame, and she is in place and she's ready to go. And it works well. It won't work well after I spray paint it because they never do. So I'll have to clean that up, and that way the door will function will slide like it should. So this is where I'm at on this stuff. We've got, I'm still trying to figure out how to put a cow catcher on it. I'm a little tight on a couple of the ends, specifically due to the motor on one end because it's got a long frame. But we'll get it worked out. But it's coming along well. I'm getting ready to build a catwalk across the top of here. I've got one trolley pole that I'll put on it. I may put two. If I can find a second one, I can build them. I don't like to mess with that stuff. So we'll see where it goes from there. But coming along real well. And since it snowed a little bit today, it's a good idea to be inside. Talk with you later, guys. Toodaloo.